Good morning, all. Welcome to the COTA Victoria Annual General Meeting 2025, and thank you for joining us today. My name is Ben Rogers, and I'm the CEO of COTA Victoria and Seniors Rights Victoria. I'd like to begin by acknowledging the traditional custodians on the lands in which we are meeting, in our case, the Bunurong people of the Kulin Nations. We pay our respects to their elders past and present. Sovereignty has never been ceded. It always was and always will be Aboriginal land. Thank you all for joining us here today, those in the room and those online. Before we begin, a few housekeeping matters. For those of you that are joining us via Zoom, this AGM is being recorded. Those joining by Zoom will have a view of this room and the current speaker, and we'll make sure to share slides on your screen when appropriate. If you have a question or comment, please feel free to use the chat functionality found within Zoom, and we'll do our best to respond. There will be an opportunity for questions at the end in lieu of any formal other business. Those in person will have an opportunity to raise questions by raising your hand. If you're using Zoom, questions can be posted using the chat functionality inside Zoom. Questions received during the AGM will be collated and asked by the moderator on your behalf at the end of the formal presentations. Any questions left unanswered at the end of the AGM will be answered and sent out to all attendees. In relation to any motions relating to minutes, financials, or other matters, I encourage you to vote when requested by raising your hand while your camera is on, using the raise hand functionality on the bottom of your screen in Zoom, or you can simply type your response using the chat section. As you can imagine, those in the room, you just need to raise your hand and we will be there looking at you. It's a bit easier. As we continue, I would like to acknowledge two past presidents who are joining us today, Mike Lesky and Greg Nichols. I'd also like to acknowledge our former Treasurer, Deputy President and Board Member, Graham Bird. We have the following apologies today. Our Treasurer, Catherine Brown. If there are any other apologies that anyone would like to pass up from the floor. Otherwise, I'd also like to acknowledge the following representative organisations present, U3A Victoria, and of course, Life Activities Club Victoria. I would now like to introduce the COTA Victoria and Seniors Rights Victoria AGM Chair and President, Robert Caulfield, to say a few words.
Well, thank you, Ben, and welcome to everybody that's here today and everybody that's watching online as well. I'm really pleased to deliver this report as your president of COTA Victoria. We've actually had a pretty great year, and that's really good. COTA Victoria and Seniors Rights Victoria have continued to deliver impact and outcomes for older Victorians over the past year. We have improved our financial position, leadership and connections as the peak body for ageing in Victoria and the leading voice against elder abuse, as well as moving to a new office. And for those of you who haven't seen the new office just down the road, it's pretty flash and a fairly terrific thing that's been achieved this year. We continue to be in a strong financial position despite a tough fiscal environment. We are reporting a $377,000 surplus for 2024-25, which is quite remarkable, building on our great financial performance from the previous year. This puts us in a strong position to handle future economic headwinds in a constrained funding environment that is unlikely to change in the near future. We also managed to secure new funding for projects this year, including dedicated funding to support older Victorians facing elder abuse, where that abuse relates to their housing. This is all underpinned by the successful delivery of our programs and services. As always, Seniors Rights Victoria continues to play a key role in the state's response to and prevention of elder abuse. We are proud to deliver this essential service. It is vital that we drive the agenda around elder abuse, especially as the state faces an ageing population and increasing demand for elder abuse support. A highlight this year was the launch of our Beyond Age campaign as part of World Elder Abuse Awareness Day 2025. Through powerful visual storytelling, older Victorians reflected on ageing with insight and dignity, challenging stereotypes and sparking meaningful conversations. Beyond Age was created as a 2-year campaign, and we hope to build on this year's success in 2026. We've also strengthened and expanded our frontline services. Our health justice partnership with the Better Health Network, which embeds legal support in healthcare clinics, launched this year and makes it easier for older people to access timely, coordinated assistance. Our policy and advocacy work remains strong. This includes playing a leading role on the Senior Victorians Advisory Committee and ensuring older people's needs were included in statewide planning and reform. Finally, we continue to gain members and supporters through our free individual membership program. We're heading up to around 2,000 members now from only a few hundred just a few years ago. The contributions of our members place us in stronger position to deliver services and represent the rights and interests of older Victorians. Our great work requires the support of a significant amount of funders, supporters and corporate partners, and I'd like to list those for you and formally thank each and every one of them for their support of COTA Victoria and Seniors Rights Victoria. A comprehensive list is available on our websites, cota.org.au and seniorsrights.org.au. As President, I owe my gratitude to the board, who are all volunteers, and to CEO Ben Rogers and his dedicated team of over 30 staff at COTA Victoria and Seniors Rights Victoria for the successes we've achieved over the last 12 months. As part of this, I'd like to extend my thanks to Ray Cummings, who resigned as a director in October. Ray has played a key role in positioning this organisation as the peak body for older Victorians, and I deeply appreciate his skill, knowledge and dedication over the past 2 years. I'd also like to thank our board members, Deputy President Tanya O'Connor, Treasurer Catherine Brown, who's an apology today, Directors Mary Downey, Mark Stokes, Hayley Hunter and Jared Manso. It's very important to reiterate that they're all volunteers and put in a tremendous amount of their own time to ensure COTA Victoria continues to run smoothly. I also want to welcome 2 new board members with us today. Bianca Brijnath, who is here in yellow, looking very elegant and very bright on this spring, almost summer day, and Sue Roth, who is joining as well. Both appointed after a competitive recruitment process, who will bring a new range of skills, experience and insights to support the organisation as we go forward. Finally, I thank all of the members of COTA Victoria for your ongoing support and look forward to engaging with you and experiencing even greater successes over the next few years. I look forward to continued work in 2026 as we continue to lead the sector and refine our strategy and approach. We will continue to endeavour to provide premium services, assistance, support, and most importantly, a voice for those we represent that reflects the high standards expected by our community. As the ongoing implementation of the aged care reform shows, there is a role and a need for COTA Victoria to support and advocate for older Victorians. I'll now hand back over to Ben.
Thanks, Rob. It is an honour to be speaking to you today in my role as CEO of COTA Victoria and Seniors Rights Victoria. I am delighted to deliver this address as it lets us celebrate and highlight the hard work, dedication and outcomes of my colleagues over the past year, alongside the contributions of our partners, members, volunteers, staff and board. We've continued to play a leading role in the sector and deliver a range of vital supports and programs, going above and beyond to create impact and earn a reputation far greater than our size and funding should allow. And all while moving office. Our annual report captures all the detail, but I do want to take a few minutes to highlight some of these for you all. We've continued to strengthen our engagement with the community. An area that continues to be a priority is making sure we are connected to our community. For instance, our advocacy has been informed by over 350 engagements with members and supporters, including survey responses, online and in-person discussion groups, forums, workshops, and all alongside thousands of calls to our COTA Wise and Seniors Rights Victoria helplines. To help us with this, we have re-established our policy working group with a group of expert volunteers supporting our processes and approaches in engaging the community. Community education remains a key method for us to support our communities. Across our community education programs, we reached over 3,400 older Victorians in 90 plus sessions with a number of these focused on older Victorians in regional areas, those from a cult background, and LGBTIQ older people. Connected to this is our COTA-wise information service, which helps older people via telephone and email. This year, we received approximately 2,000 calls to our COTA-wise helpline. We resolved roughly 150 inquiries each month, with key topics of interest being aged care, Centrelink, service navigation, and cost of living issues. Emerging issues, like those that are currently arising from reforms to the Aged Care Act, which went into place on the 1st November, are relayed to our policy team alongside our peers at COTA organisations nationally and across states and territories to support Victorians, as well as Australians, as they age. It's been a full year since we've taken on membership at a local level, as compared to the national model that existed previously. And this has seen a series of events and opportunities for members to understand and contribute to our work. In addition to the implementation of a holistic individual membership framework, we have welcomed 354 new members this year, with, at 30 June 2025, 1,659 total members at the end of the financial year. We've continued to provide great programs and services that make a difference. COTA Victoria is nothing without the programs and services that we provide to older Victorians. I really do want to take this moment to highlight Women Working Together. Our Women Working Together program, employment support program, concluded as of 30 June 2025 and supported women aged 50 to 64 in Melbourne South, East and West to gain employment, a volunteer position, or engage in training or education. Through the program, we supported approximately 80 women, with many of the participants experiencing long-term unemployment prior to engagement. I was lucky enough to meet one of the participants who had had their first job in 18 years. It was wholly made possible through the wisdom, guidance, and expertise of volunteer mentors who donated their time to this important program. Our position as a care finder organisation ensures we can help vulnerable older people who would not be able to arrange aged care services without intensive support, and who do not have a support person who can help, all within the City of Kingston. We were grateful to be extended as a provider for another year, and fingers crossed that we will be able to continue to support this cohort going forward. Seniors Rights Victoria continues to deliver an incredible statewide service focused on responding to and preventing elder abuse. Our helpline provides advice, information, and referrals to older people and professionals. This year, our helpline advocates received 13,203 calls, a 12% increase compared to last year, and we were able to respond to 3,970 individual contacts with a total of 5,238 discrete issues. An incredible amount of work from an absolutely incredible team. SRV operates a multidisciplinary model where lawyers and advocates work together to provide ongoing support to those who are experiencing or at risk of elder abuse. Many clients who receive advice from SRV want to know about their options but do not wish to start legal proceedings. This year, SRV had advice appointments with 233 clients, while opening 103 new cases and closing 85 cases. We are seeing increasing acuity and complexity in the cases we are managing. The average number of days a case remained open was 646 days, while the longest a case was open was 1,788 days. This puts an increased strain on our resources and the team as we work to meet community demand. Of course, a key part for why we can deliver impact is through volunteers, who I deeply thank for their efforts. Volunteers have continued to deliver great work, including our Older Men New Ideas groups, continuing to provide a safe and supportive environment for older men. And I will say, currently going on, there is a battle of the bands taking place in the Lumbic between the Older Men New Ideas versus the Men's Shed. And I do want to put on record our support for Older Men New Ideas and hope they take home the victory. They have our unwavering support. I also want to thank our Women Working Together mentors who helped people with their job prospects, and our elder abuse peer educators, being key voices to support community awareness. We have continued to be the leading voice and advocates for older Victorians. Alongside our direct engagement with older Victorians, we work with Victorian and national organisations to ensure their voices are reflected in our work. These partnerships enhance our understanding across key issues such as disability, housing, healthcare, ageing research, caregiving, and discrimination. Our advocacy is enriched by their expertise and place-based insights they bring. In practice, this has included joint projects, consultations, submissions, information sharing, and participation in sector reference groups. As an example, we have been appointed to the Senior Victorians Advisory Committee and continue to chair the Victorian Elder Abuse Strategic Alliance. Of course, one of the highlights was World Elder Abuse Awareness Day, or WEAD, which shines a spotlight on the critical issue of elder abuse, fostering global recognition and action. This year, we launched our 2-year Beyond Age project to target one of the main drivers of elder abuse, ageism. And I'm so pleased that we have at least one of the outputs from here, and I also want to thank those that took part that are here today as well. As part of the project, community members attended workshops and coupled photos of their past and present, then provided advice about getting older to their younger self. Participants were encouraged to have conversations about preserving the dignity of older people and to speak out about ageism. The project was officially launched at the Melbourne Town Hall on 10th of June 2025, where completed storyboards were displayed alongside a special pop-up event at Flinders Street, alongside a permanent online gallery. A travelling exhibition also toured the state as part of the Victorian Seniors Festival in October. The response to Beyond Age has far exceeded our expectations, and we're so pleased that the campaign will run through 2026. This year, we've continued to push to place COTA Victoria front of mind with local and national media organisations, with a dedication to protect the rights and interests of Victorians as they age. We distributed 15 media releases, also securing 168 identified media mentions. Key topics included bank closures, self-checkouts at retailers, Victorian state budget, COVID-19's impact on aged care facilities, and our new partnership with Safe and Equal to train Orange Doors in matters of elder abuse. So where has that work left us? Well, at the end of 24-25, we have achieved another surplus, putting ourselves in a strong financial position to handle a constrained funding environment. We have moved to a new office, providing a well-placed and good value base for us to build from. We have seen our membership increase by over 350 members and growing. We continue to be a leading example of how to deliver our programs, including CareFinder in the City of Kingston. And we have never been better connected into the Victorian government, building relationships with key stakeholders and having a seat at the table on a number of reference groups. I am pleased to report on another successful year under extraordinary circumstances, as well as to seek to assure you all that our wonderful organisation is in good hands. I'm very excited at the prospects for COTA Victoria in the coming years ahead. I again sincerely thank my staff for their remarkable effort during the past year, and our highly valued volunteers for their support and for contributing and informing our activities. I also want to express my deepest thanks to our President, Rob Caulfield, and the remaining members of the COTA Victoria Board for their ongoing support and confidence. We will now, after all of that, start the formal proceedings of our AGM. As such, I will hand over to the AGM Chair and President of COTA Victoria, once again, Robert Caulfield.
Thank you, Ben. Well, the formal parts of AGMs are usually pretty short. This won't be any different, I don't think. The first item on our agenda is to approve the minutes of the last annual general meeting, which was held on November the 27th, 2024. And now only members that were present last year may move a motion or vote. So I'd call on someone, a mover and a seconder, to move the acceptance of the annual general meeting minutes, which were in the agenda package that was circulated to everyone. Do I have a mover for Mark Stokes? Seconder? Jared Mansour. All in favour? That's passed. I'd now like to have Tanya O'Connor, who's standing in on behalf of Catherine, who is away at the moment, who is unable to attend. I think she's got another AGM. It's AGM season. And Tanya will introduce the Treasurer's report on behalf of Catherine Brown.
On behalf of the board, I have the great pleasure in presenting the Treasurer's Report for financial year ended 30th of June 2025. The financial statements for the financial year show a net surplus of $377,958 compared to a net surplus of $203,246 in the prior year. This increase is due to additional one-off indexation payments received in grant income and favourable accounting adjustments made in portable long service leave for staff, as well as the termination of the organisation's premises lease and the commencement of the new lease. This is a pleasing result for the organisation for the year. Total income for the year of $3.9 million has increased by 5% compared to $3.7 million in the prior year due to an additional grant income and accounting adjustments, as already mentioned. State and federal government funding represent 95% of total revenue. Total expenses for the year of $3.6 million have increased compared to the prior year of $3.5 million due to an increase in payroll and related on-costs. Payroll and other employment expenses continue to represent 86% of total expenses. Total current assets are approximately $2.4 million, up by 60% from the prior year due to timing and income received in advance. Cash assets represent 97% of this balance. There is approximately $1.1 million in current liabilities, which includes lease liabilities, employee benefits, and grant income received in advance. Overall, the net asset position of $1,246,312 remains healthy, reinforcing its financial sustainability and supportive of the organisation's future operations. There has been no significant change in accounting standards during the financial year. Subsequent to year-end, there does not appear to be any significant uncertainties with respect to events or conditions which may impact unfavourably on the organisation in future years. Management will continue to assess and implement the decisions necessary to keep the organisation in a healthy financial position and provide a solid base for the next 12 months. The auditors have issued an unqualified audit opinion on the financial statements. There were no uncorrected errors at year-end or significant management or internal control issues noted. The Audit and Risk Committee and the Board would like to thank the auditor for their service and ongoing support. Finally, I would like to thank the members of the Audit, Finance and Risk Committee for their continued commitment and support during the year. Also, I would like to thank Ben Rogers and Janet Zhang for their support. Thank you.
So the next item of business is the appointment of an auditor. And the recommendation is that the Banks Group be appointed as auditor for the 2025 financial year. Do we have a mover and a seconder? Okay, Hayley and Mark, mover and seconder. All in favour? That's passed. So I'll hand over to Ben now, who's going to actually announce the 2025-26 board position.
In my role as reporting officer, I would like to declare that the number of nominations from members to be elected to fill the positions of those board members whose terms expired at this annual general meeting did not exceed the number of vacancies for positions. Pursuant to Rule 52.7 of the Constitution, Directors Mark Stokes, Tanya O'Connor and Hayley Hunter, all being eligible for re-election, have been re-elected for one more 3-year term to serve the organisation. Congratulations. And in a move I don't think will shock anyone, I once again hand proceedings back to Robert Caulfield.
Musical chairs, isn't it, here at the moment? So I'd like to just formally acknowledge Ray Cummings for his time and service as a director. He played a key role in the leading and positioning of our organisation for continued success. And I deeply appreciate his skill, knowledge and dedication over the past 2 years. Now in our continuing revolving chair situation, I'll hand back to Ben, who's going to actually tell us about the 2025-2030 strategic plan. Steve, have you got something you... Oh, I see. Okay. We saw a bit of frantic activity happening at the back here. It was only the clicker.
I think we're getting very good at this process now. Thanks, Rob. You may have noticed a few minutes ago when I spoke that I didn't speak to strategy as part of my address, and that's because I was saving it for now. I'm so very pleased to today launch the COTA Victoria Strategic Plan 2025-2030, which is up on the screens right now. This plan has been developed over months with input from volunteers, staff, management, and our board as we look towards the role of our organisation and what we want to achieve. It was an engaged and in-depth process that I believe sets us on a clear direction for the next 5 years, and I want to thank Andrew Hollow for helping us to craft this vision. Simply put, as it says it there, the reason we exist is to improve the lives of Victorians as they age, by championing the strengths, desires, and decisions of older people. We believe that aging is not a problem to be solved, but a powerful and natural phase of life to be lived with meaning, autonomy, and connection. We work alongside older people to uphold their rights, amplify their voices, and ensure their full participation in the economic, social, and cultural life of our communities. And this is about our impact to deliver a Victoria where older Victorians are empowered to make decisions, shape their own futures, and live with purpose at every stage of later life. We envision a society that recognizes the gifts of aging, experience, wisdom, creativity, and care, and places older people at its heart. And through our advocacy, services, partnerships, and campaigns, we unlock the potential of aging to enrich lives, strengthen communities, and create intergenerational value. In 2025 to 2030, we'll be focusing on our influence, empowerment, and amplification. Through our influence, we shape the systems, policies, and decisions that impact people as they age, from aged care to health, to housing, digital inclusion, and economic security. Our influence is grounded in lived experience and geared towards long-term structural change. We strive to empower, to equip older Victorians with the right information, support, and confidence to make decisions, assert their rights, and shape their own futures. We help people navigate complex systems and protect themselves from harm while always recognizing and reinforcing their strengths and autonomy. We champion the capabilities and contributions of older people and celebrate the gifts of aging. And finally, we amplify, ensuring older people are heard in government, media, and community conversations. We provide platforms that engage, listen to, and echo diverse views and experiences, with a strong focus on those whose voices are not heard. To make this possible, we will partner with others, working across sectors and with government and communities to co-design solutions, extend our reach, and build collective impact for all Victorians as they age. We'll also strive to build a stronger COTA Victoria, strengthen our capabilities, systems, people, and brand so we can grow our impact in a rapidly changing world. Of course, this is all easier to say than it is to do. Our strategy can only be judged on the outcomes and impact it delivers. What this means practically for us is a renewed focus on advocacy and driving systemic reform, a commitment to maintain and grow the impact and benefit of our services for clients, driving growth in our membership and how we engage with and listen to all older Victorians, reflective of our aging population, and diversifying our revenue to look for new partners and opportunities to help sustain and develop our impact for older Victorians. As we come up to our 75th birthday at COTA Victoria in 2026, I believe this strategy, if delivered, puts us in a stronger position to ensure we can support and benefit older Victorians for another 75 years. We are starting to deliver on the steps required by and set out in the strategy as we go through the rest of 2025-26, and I look forward to letting you know how we are going on delivering it throughout the year and at our next AGM, of course. Our full strategic plan, 2025-2030, is available to read in full on our websites, cotavic.org.au and seniorsrights.org.au. And of course, I'm happy to take any questions on this or any other subjects in just a moment. But before we do that, I do want to once again hand proceedings back to Robert in order to do so.
I'm going to do it here. No point in doing anything else. We normally have an agenda item of other business, and nobody has actually nominated any other items of other business. So what we'll do instead of that is ask for any questions Steve, were there any questions that were nominated online?
I might get whoever's responding to the questions. I know we're all pretty loud, but just so Zoom can hear to come and talk into the microphone. And this is probably one for Robert or Ben. I have a question from member Bill Penrose, who asks, what plans does COTA Victoria have to resurrect and support Omni men?
Thanks, Bill, for the question and for dialing in. So, of course, Omni has been a group that we have supported for a number of years, Older Men, New Ideas, and we continue to work to support it. I'm pleased to be able to say that the Older Men, New Ideas, I always get the title wrong, but advocacy, I forget the exact title, Omni, no, the group. Advisory Committee. I always get the title wrong. I apologize. The Omni Advisory Committee is being resurrected, and we will shortly be sending out an email to all Omni participants, well, Omni leaders, as well as to the wider community, looking for expressions of interest for that group. Now, through that group, that will be the main mechanism that we work with Omni and its participants to recognize their value and to grow the program more widely. In particular, I know that there's been conversations had with potential partners with the program, which we'll continue to work with the Omni representatives to support and see where we can grow this opportunity further and make sure that others experience the benefit that Omni has. While a lot of attention goes towards Men's Shed, we know that Omni in particular has a real distinctive value in the way that it supports conversations for older men. And I know that there's particular interest in other states and territories around the model as well, which is really exciting. But to really sort of drive home the point, we'll be resurrecting the advisory committee, and through that will facilitate the conversations that we utilize to drive and grow the program, and looking for where we can hopefully support new groups to be set up. I understand and definitely know that there's been frustration from some Omni participants and representatives around the slow pace of change, and for that I can only apologize. But once again, I can only reiterate that COTA Victoria is committed to supporting the program. It is the only program of its like that we continue to support, and we will be bringing back the advisory committee as the key forum to drive that growth going forward. Thank you for the question, Bill.
Are there any other questions from the floor that anybody has? No questions. No questions generally means everybody's happy. Isn't that a good thing? So that was the last item on the agenda. Now, I had a running sheet here, which indicated we would close at 11:30. Here it is 10:30. And I said earlier, AGMs are pretty quick. If everyone's happy, they're quick. So thanks for attending. Your support and contribution as members is deeply appreciated. I'll now formally bring proceedings to a close. So please enjoy the coffee and the food that we have over there. We've got some time up our sleeves to do some socializing and networking and just generally talking. But thank you everybody for attending. Those of you online, and of course those that you have who've made the time to attend in person too. We thank you very much.